Welcome back. This week, San Francisco Supervisor Matt Haney ran and won in a special election for the district, or rather the Assembly District 17 seat. That's the seat once held by David Chu, who is now the city attorney. Mr. Haney joins us live now in the Crom 4 studio to talk about his vision for the future of District 17. Thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, and you just celebrated a birthday as well.
Yes. My birthday was on Sunday, had an election on Tuesday. So it's been a pretty wild week, but a good one for sure.
Yeah, you certainly had your hands full. So just to get right into it, District 17, we know that it covers the eastern half of San Francisco, includes neighborhoods like Chinatown, the Tenderloin. So, both of these areas have very unique demographics and unique issues. So, focusing on the Tenderloin first, how do you plan to specifically address issues like homelessness and the fentanyl overdose problem?
These are issues that go much further beyond one neighborhood. It's one of the big reasons why I ran for the state assembly. We need state leadership, state resources, every city and county doing their part on this. You can't expect to solve homelessness or a fentanyl epidemic in one neighborhood as hard as we're trying. So we need to have consequences for, effective consequences for people who are selling fentanyl. We need to stop the flow of these drugs into our state and into our communities. We need to make sure that there's treatment on demand so that when people need help, they can get into it and are not stuck in these bottlenecks. And we need to make sure that it's not just San Francisco doing this. As long as people are coming here to sell drugs and use drugs, San Francisco is going to be overwhelmed. I need to go up to the state and say, we need a plan here, and we need every city and county to also do their part.
And we also, I mentioned earlier about the district, Chinatown being part of the district as well. During the pandemic, so many businesses in that Chinatown area were affected detrimentally, people feeling apprehensive because of the incorrect sentiment that, Asian people were the cause of the spread of this COVID-19 virus. And also the rise in anti-Asian violence directed towards folks living in Chinatown and across the state. Any reassurance that you'd like to provide to voters and people living in Chinatown at this time? Just specific steps that you're planning to take to help give them a sense of reassurance.
Chinatown is the oldest and largest Chinatown in the country. It's in many ways the cultural and economic heart of our city. So many people come to San Francisco because of Chinatown. The Chinese community has been a part of San Francisco for so long. And I'm going to be a champion for Chinatown in the state legislature. That means bringing back resources so that we can open up Chinatown and bring our visitors back, invest in small businesses, invest in the arts, invest in really bringing people back to Chinatown. But it also has to mean safety. We need police walking the beat. We need foot patrols. We need consequences for people who commit hate crimes. A lot of those are state laws and resources, and I'm going to make sure that I champion not only Chinatown opening up and thriving, but also the safety of every Chinese resident in our city and state.
And we reported earlier the state's budget surplus, right? This year it's reportedly going to be pretty sizable. We're talking more than $23 billion more than previously projected. So what issues can people in San Francisco expect you to be fighting for in Sacramento?
We need real solutions on homelessness and housing and mental health. These are the big issues that we're facing every day. We're seeing it on our streets. People are seeing it when they take out their checkbook to pay rent. We have to build more housing, build more affordable housing, get people off the streets, expand services like mental health, and also make sure the systems work better. We can't have people who are just abandoned on our streets. We got to get them inside. But also people generally in San Francisco and around the state, even though the state is doing well with our surplus, a lot of people still are not doing well themselves. They have debt, they're struggling, they lost their small businesses. So I'm also going to be looking at economic opportunity to lift everyone up, workers, put money back in people's pockets.
And Mayor London Breed, she's expected to select your replacement on the Board of Supervisors. Any suggestions or ideas on who would be a good candidate for the job?
Well, many years ago, San Francisco made history with Harvey Milk, a first openly LGBT elected official. I hope we can make history again. The chair of our Democratic Party is a person named Haney. She would be the first trans person elected in San Francisco and first supervisor, and also just incredibly brilliant. And so I hope that the mayor appoints Haney, but ultimately there'll be election in November, and the voters of District 6 will get to choose. And I'm very proud that I will be able to continue to represent District 6, but in Sacramento, and bring back results for them there.
Any closing thoughts here for what else that that you really want voters and people in San Francisco to know about you and just steps moving forward?
This is a tough time for our city and our state, and we need to have elected officials who are actually grounded in reality, who are trying to solve problems with solutions, not governing based on ideology, or even in some cases, as we've seen in San Francisco, elected officials who are actually dismissive of their own constituents and devaluing people and dividing people. I won, I think, a large victory because I want to bring people together. I want to solve problems. I want to acknowledge that this is a tough time for San Franciscans on housing, on homelessness, on safety, and let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. And I'm really thankful and grateful that the voters of Assembly District 17 are going to give me the opportunity.
All right, well, we look forward to what's next for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblyman-elect Matt Haney, and we will be right back after this.
Thank you.